What if I told you that the biggest mistake ruining your life isn't laziness? It's impatience. Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they expect results too quickly. They go to the gym for a week, nothing changes. They quit. They start a business, no customers. They quit. They start learning a language. A few days later, they still can't speak fluently. They quit, and then they look at successful people and think, they must be talented. They got lucky. They have something I don't. But what if that's not true? What if the real difference between successful people and everyone else is much simpler? What if they just stayed in the game longer? Today, we're going to talk about one of the most powerful forces in the world. A force so small that most people completely ignore it, yet powerful enough to transform your health, your finances, your relationships, your confidence, and your entire future. That force is the power of improving by just 1% every day. And before you dismiss that idea as too simple, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll understand why tiny actions often create massive results. Let's start with a problem that affects almost everyone. We live in a world addicted to instant gratification. We want results now. We want abs in 30 days. Money in 90 days. Success by next month. We want transformation without patience. But reality doesn't work like that. Nature doesn't work like that. And neither does success. Think about a giant oak tree. When people see it, they admire its size and strength. But nobody talks about the years it spent growing underground. Nobody celebrates the roots. They only celebrate the result. And that's exactly how life works. People see the successful business. They don't see the years of failure. People see the athlete. They don't see the thousands of workouts. People see the successful YouTube channel. They don't see the hundreds of videos nobody watched. Success looks like an event, but it's actually a process. And most people quit during the process. Here's a question. Have you ever started something, worked hard for a few days, saw no results, and gave up? If you have, comment yes below, because you're not alone. In fact, that's exactly what most people do. And neuroscience explains why. Your brain loves immediate rewards. Every notification, every social media scroll, every sugary snack, every short video, all of them provide quick dopamine, instant pleasure, instant reward. But the things that truly improve your life don't work that way. Reading books, learning skills, building businesses, getting healthy, saving money. These things often take months before you notice any major changes. And that's why your brain constantly tries to pull you back toward easier rewards. Your brain is optimized for survival, not long-term success. Successful people understand this. They stop asking, what do I feel like doing? And start asking, what will benefit me later? That single shift changes everything. Now, let's talk about the mathematics of improvement. Imagine you become just 1% better every day. 1% sounds insignificant. Most people wouldn't even notice it. But here's the crazy part. If you improve by 1% every day for 1 year, you don't become a little better. You become dramatically better. Tiny gains compound. Just like money compounds, just like interest compounds, just like habits compound. One workout won't transform your body, but hundreds of workouts will. $1 won't make you wealthy, but thousands of dollars consistently invested can. One page won't make you an expert, but thousands of pages eventually will. The problem is that people underestimate the power of small improvements, and they overestimate the power of dramatic action. Everyone wants the breakthrough. Nobody wants the repetition, but repetition is where the magic happens. Think about this. A plane leaving Los Angeles and changing its direction by only a few degrees will end up in a completely different destination. A tiny change, a massive result. Your life works the same way. Small daily decisions create your future, whether you realize it or not. Now here's something even more important. The hardest part of success is what I call the invisible phase. The invisible phase is the period where you're working hard, but nothing seems to be happening. You exercise, no visible change. You save money, no visible change. You study, no visible change. You upload videos, no visible change. This is where most people quit. Because human beings naturally want evidence. We want proof our efforts are working, but many of the most important changes happen beneath the surface. Before they become visible, consider the Chinese bamboo tree. For years after planting it, almost nothing appears above the ground. It looks like nothing is happening, but underground, An enormous root system is developing. Then suddenly, it shoots upward at an incredible speed. Did the growth happen overnight? No, the visible growth happened overnight. The real growth was happening long before anyone could see it. Your success works exactly the same way. Most people quit because they mistake invisibility for failure. They think, this isn't working, when in reality, they're often closer than they realize. The gym works this way. Business works this way. Learning works this way. YouTube works this way. Life works this way. The people who win aren't always smarter. They're often just more patient. And that leads us to another powerful idea. Identity. Most people focus on goals. Successful people focus on identity. A goal says, I want to get fit. An identity says, I'm someone who exercises. A goal says, I want to become wealthy. An identity says, I'm someone who builds wealth. A goal says, I want to read more books. An identity says, I am a reader. Do you see the difference? Goals focus on outcomes. Identity focuses on who you become. And human beings naturally act in ways that align with their identity. If you believe you're lazy, you'll find evidence to support it. If you believe you're disciplined, you'll act differently. That's why small daily actions matter so much. Every action costs a vote for the person you're becoming. Every workout is a vote. Every page read is a vote. Every dollar saved is a vote. Every promise kept is a vote. You don't become successful from one massive decision. You become successful through thousands of small votes repeated over time. And eventually, your identity changes. Now, let me ask you something. Who are you becoming? Not who do you want to become. Who are your daily actions creating? Think about that carefully, because your habits reveal your future. If you're getting value from this video so far, hit the like button. And let's continue. Another reason people fail is because they rely on motivation. Motivation feels great, but motivation is unreliable. Some days you'll feel motivated. Many days you won't. That's why successful people build systems instead. They remove decisions. They create routines. They make good habits easier and bad habits harder because they know consistency beats intensity. One incredible workout followed by 3 weeks of inactivity won't change your life. 100 average workouts will. 1 day of perfect focus won't build a business. Hundreds of focused days will. Success is often boring. That's something social media rarely shows you. The truth is that success usually looks like repeating simple actions long after the excitement disappears. That's where most people stop. And that's where successful people continue. Finally, let's talk about the biggest lesson of all. Most people spend their lives waiting. Waiting for confidence. Waiting for motivation. Waiting for inspiration. Waiting for the perfect moment. But the perfect moment never arrives. Action comes first. Confidence comes later. Momentum comes later. Results come later. Everything comes later. That's why the power of 1% every day is so important, because it removes the need for perfection. You don't need to change your entire life today. You only need to improve slightly. 1%. That's it. One better decision. One better habit. One better action. Repeat it consistently. And over time, those tiny improvements become extraordinary results. So let me ask you one final question. What's one thing you can improve by just 1% today? Comment below and let me know. Then actually do it, because your future isn't built by giant breakthroughs. It's built by small actions repeated long enough. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more psychology, self-improvement, and success content every week. And remember, most people quit because they don't see progress fast enough. Successful people keep going because they understand that progress is often invisible before it becomes undeniable. Start today, improve by 1%, and let time do the rest. See you in the next one.